What is going on, watch people of the internet and watch enthusiasts alike? My name is Roy, and today we're talking about 5 things I absolutely love about this Omega Seamaster Pro 300 in the seaweed green dial. But before we talk about it, I just want to let you know this is coming from an owner's perspective, which I absolutely love. All too often, you'll see reviews online of people who don't actually own the watch. So if you're kind of in the market for it, this is going to kind of help you with that owner's insider. I'd also like to say I was in the market for a Speedy before I bought this, and I actually wanted that one over this one, but it was a little too expensive, so I pulled the trigger on what was the cheaper watch. And I actually ended up liking it a lot more, and I'm so happy I went with that option because when I put the Speedy on my wrist, it didn't have the same wrist presence, and I don't know, I'm just in love with this watch now. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's talk about it. You want to talk about a nice looking dive watch? This is it. The design is incredible. So the first thing I'd like to touch on is the design. And I'm talking about the bezel, I'm talking about the dial, and I'm talking about that wart. That helium escape valve is so cool. I mean, it wouldn't be the Seamaster Pro 300 without it, right? So first thing I love about my Omega Seamaster is the design. And sure, it's obvious, right? That's why you buy a watch. But no, I'd kind of like to go back and tell you about why I chose this watch. And I chose it because it was cheaper than the Speedy. So, like, I didn't find attraction in the watch at first. It's like the forgotten stepchild. I never really paid attention. And I think that once I found out that it was a little cheaper, and I'm like, yeah, I still want an Omega, let me kind of see what my options are. Lo and behold, here I am loving the watch more than I thought I ever would. It's a beautiful design, and I don't have the itch anymore to buy the Speedy, although one day in my life I'll probably own it. Incredible. I love the design. The helium escape valve is, to me, perfect. I don't think it makes the watch look ugly. I know a lot of people call it the wart. And it's a beautiful wart, if you ask me. I like it. Makes the watch what it is. Another thing you'll notice on this watch is it has a lot of angular, like, kind of like octagonal designs on the bezel and on the back of the watch as well. I'd also like to talk about the clicky sound of the bezel. A lot of people say it's hard to grip and that it sounds cheap. So I think it's super easy to move with or without gloves. And for some reason, a lot of people always say that it's one of the hardest bezels that they've ever dealt with. I'll see people with gloves on saying, oh, I can't grip it. Dude, that was super easy. It takes zero effort. My Tudor is harder to turn than this one is. And I think that the sound is amazing. It sounds really good. It sounds super snappy and clean. So the bezel, the design, and the exhibition case back is another thing of the design that I really love. You can actually see the movement, which is wonderful. So overall design, I love it. What do you think about it? The dial goes hand in hand with the design. But I wanted dial to be category 2 for the second thing I love about my Seamaster. Because I think that it deserves its own category. It's a beautiful dial. Doesn't matter what color you get it in, I love it regardless. And especially these newer ones, I'll link the reference number below, but these newer ones that have this pattern of waves on it, I love it. There's the older 90s style, or one of the 007 versions has the super close waves across the dial. I'm not really much of a fan of that, although I do find beauty in it. I prefer this one where they're more separated. But I got the green because my birthstone is emerald, and I just thought that it was a good opportunity to have some significance that tied in with that. But also, it's just like a trend right now, and I know that it was a little hard to get a hold of. So when I saw that it was in stock, I had to get it. This green color is out of this world. Buying this color is like buying 2 different watches because it's black. It's actually 3 different watches. You'll notice that in different lightings, you'll see different shades of green. What I've noticed is 2 different shades of green, a really like bright green, kind of like the strap. I've seen a darker green and then black. people really just, when they look at the watch, think it's black until you tell them it's green, and it's just like, it's mind-blowing, right? But it's such a wonderful color, and I feel like anybody that wants that versatility should go for the green dial, because like I mentioned, you get like 3 colors in one, which I think is just awesome. And I even think this has a different process to how the actual dial is made over all the other ones. We all buy watches for multiple reasons, but I think the whole reason why we're into this hobby is because of the movement. I like watches because of the movement. I always thought watches looked cool, so I wanted the watch. But once I started to really see how the movement worked, or what the movement did, or why some are accurate and in-house movements this and that, I started to really understand why watches get so expensive. So I think we can all nerd out a little bit about the movement, and although I won't really touch too much on the movement, I'm not super educated on that. I just like to throw a little bit here and there about what makes this watch incredible. First of all, the shock resistance. You can slam your hand here or there. I remember I caught myself one time. I was trying to put a panel on my car, and I was just banging that thing trying to get the clip to clip on. And I looked at my wrist, and I'm like, holy shit, did I just kind of, mess this watch up? But then I remembered, no, this watch is robust. It's built for this. It's a tool watch. It's a diver's watch. That in itself is just kind of gives you that peace of mind that you can wear this watch without worrying about messing it up. The second thing, which I don't see myself being anywhere, around magnetic fields that are up to 15,000 Gauss, which this watch can withstand up to an MRI machine. But it's kind of cool to know that it's resistant to that because of the silicone hairspring, I believe. So that's another thing about the movement, and it's super accurate, right? So like I wind this thing, I set it and forget it. You put it on a watch winder, when you pick it back up, it's still ticking, and it's giving you that accurate time a week after being on the watch winder. I don't have anybody else to talk about watches with other than my beautiful girlfriend pouring this beer in my cup right now. So I always annoy her, but look, she had the Mission to Mars on her wrist. She knows more about watches than most people in the boutique do now, because I have nobody else to express this hobby with other than her, and I guess she likes it now too. So I really like the Lume on any watch. This watch was said to have super luminova, and I think that's bullshit, to be honest with you, because I rarely even get to experience seeing Lume on this watch. What does have super luminova though is the Omega Seamaster Pro 300. That's the fourth thing I love about my Omega Seamaster Pro. The Lume is incredible, and the green Lume on the pip and the minutes hand is just a wonderful touch. Everything else is in this beautiful blue, and I think that adds so much character to the watch, and it lasts so long. If you've seen any of my Tudor videos, and if you haven't, please check them out. I think you would really like them. I think that's probably one of the best watches that I have owned that has the longest lasting Lume. I don't see this Omega lasting as long as that Tudor does, but it's still amazing, and I love the Lume. And once you get to that caliber of spending over $3-4 grand on a watch, I guess it just makes sense to have Lume that lasts that long. So I really love it. If you have a different opinion, please let me know. I just want to talk to all of you guys about watches. So let's talk about it. Like everything in life, all good things must come to an end. So unfortunately, this is the fifth thing I love about my Omega Seamaster Pro. Look, we're gonna be talking about this watch more. So if you enjoy this channel, please subscribe. The fifth thing is the size. It's a 42mm watch. It commands attention. If you have a normal to larger wrist, it's gonna fit you perfectly. If you have a little bit of a smaller wrist, it's going to look terribly large on your wrist. I'm a slimmer guy. I don't know. I think I have almost a 7-inch wrist, but it fits me well. So I don't have complaints in that department. To anybody else that might, I feel like we're talking about penis sizes here, so I do apologize. But if you do have a smaller wrist, I feel like maybe if you really love the watch and it's something you want, just go for it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in it to talk about watches, and I feel like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the watch is too big for your wrist. I've seen people with enormous sized watches on their wrist, and I always like to say, hey dude, congrats on that, because you really like the watch. The size, I love it. I love the size. Again, it's a diver's watch. It should be big. It should be robust. I've not gotten more compliments on any other watch than this one, because I guess the size, people look at it, and when they look at it, they automatically say, hey, that's a really nice watch. Maybe the dial, everything, the watch is just so nice. It looks expensive too. I mean, it is expensive, but it just looks it. So, and to end it on this note, I'd also like to talk to you about being the owner of the watch, right? So about the 5 things I absolutely love about this watch, but I've owned the watch for 6 months now, and it's a good daily wearer. As you can see, I had it on bracelet. I put the NATO strap on it, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to also talk about. It's versatile. It looks well on both bracelet and the NATO, and I'm pretty sure it looks good on any other straps too. The rubber strap looks nice. I don't have that one yet, but it'd be nice to put it into my my little collection of straps for the watch. It's easy wearing. You don't feel the helium escape valve digging into your wrist. It's an overall great watch. I talk to people that say, oh, if I ever bought a watch that expensive, I wouldn't wear it. I'd keep it. I'd put it away. This watch feels like you can wear it. You can scratch it. I don't purposefully want to go out and scratch it, but I can wear it without a worry in the world. The sapphire, the stainless steel, it's robust. Again, I that's the best way I can put it. It's a good tool watch. I'd like to say that the price is fair. It feels expensive when I put it on my wrist. It is expensive though. I mean, I wish it was cheaper. But if you're looking for a watch in that price range, I feel like you couldn't get a better watch other than this one. And I think once you get the Omega Seamaster Pro 300, it'll allow you to open the door and buy other watches in the similar price range that you might want to experiment with watch styles. But again, it will alleviate the itch of wanting to buy X, Y, or Z watch. Give it a shot. Put it on your wrist if you haven't. Go to your local AD. As for this video, I'd like to say, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it and you want to see more of my content, you know where to find it. And if you want to see future content, please subscribe. Also, if you want to know more about this moon watch, mission to Mars, mission to Saturn, and what the unboxing process looks like, you can find it on YouTube. But if you'd rather me do it, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. For now though, peace, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.